Visual images especially created for concerts and city light festivals. Media art is the essential form of art that people tried to bring to life for many centuries. Meet the story of the young Ukrainian VJing and 3D mapping master. UATV found out how modern music and light shows are created. For centuries, people have dreamed of combining music and light. Italian Renaissance artist Giuseppe Arcimboldo became famous for his illusory portraits, still lives of plants, animals and fruits. But contemporaries argued that even then, in the 16th century, the maestro developed a color music system which used contrast, though the miracle device was not preserved. There were attempts to invent a so-called color organ till in the late 19th century it finally became technically possible. In 1910, Russian composer Alexander Scriabin wrote the synesthetic symphony Prometheus, the Poem of Fire, to perform it accompanied by a light show. The premiere took place in New York in 1916, but the most complete and close to the author's planned audiovisual performance appeared only 100 years later. In the 1920s, American pianist Mary Hollock Greenwald independently invented the innovative instrument Sarabet for live performances of music to lights. The device included 9 original patents. Finally, in the 1930s, German animator Oskar Fischer invented Lumigraph, which allowed 2 operators to transfer images to the screen in real time. Now this graphic may seem primitive, but behind each form there is a paper figure moved by strings. Pioneers of the new visual art were convinced that they held the key to the future, and they were not mistaken. Today it is considered a totally separate art profession. I do VJing, 3D mapping and make videos for musicians. This includes everything related to videos for music, that is, clips and animation. Ukrainian Svetlana Reinish creates animated visual images that can be projected onto a concert stage and even on buildings. The master is convinced that her vocation does not involve the use of computer graphics, but mainly large-scale video installations. I very much enjoy the big screen. I love to watch my works on the big screen. I do not know and cannot even say what it can be compared with. How did Svetlana start in media art? Where does she take visual images from? And what is the difference between projection on the stage and a building? Is it difficult to select animation for music? Watch further in this program about VJing and 3D mapping intricacies. Since the late 1960s, light show has become a desirable, even mandatory element of the live performance of most artists. Multicolored rays were projected onto special smoke in nightclubs, but it was difficult for tens of thousands of spectators to see musicians during concerts, so organizers started to use powerful music under lights. The first systems were very expensive and complex, but the development of computer technology in the late 1980s allowed many performers to do VJing.
Все видео, которое вы видите на сцене, за музыкантами, это VJing.
All the video behind musicians is VJing. This can be a live VJing. It is what I do when I have a set of footage and videos. I mix them on the air just like a DJ mixes music, but it can be inanimate VJing. When it's just a movie, like a clip that exactly matches the duration of the song. It is right in tandem with the performances of musicians. Svetlana graduated from the Academy of Arts. She's a painter. At the same time, she liked cinema and she wanted to become a director. To better understand this profession, Svetlana finished camera courses and learned to shoot, arrange and splice videos. I read a lot about screenwriting, directing and even wrote a script. It was very bad and I understood that it was not my cup of tea, so I had nothing to convey to the audience in this particular format. It was too overbearing and intense for me. New skills allowed Svetlana to find a job as a video editor on television. Although there was a strict routine schedule and simple themes to work with, the income was quite stable. It was not easy to take the risk and the first step to freedom and independent wealth. At some point, I took a decision and called my mother to tell her that I quit my job. My mother reminded me about the apartment rent. I answered that I would take care of it, and that was when I began as a freelancer. I surfed on the internet and everything went very quickly. When I started doing VJing, I didn't know this word at all. I made videos for my music friends, but there were just videos for song. And if musicians played a little more, the video just ended, and it did not turn out very well. Soon Svetlana found a professional VJ who gladly shared his skills with her. And one time he asked her to replace him in a concert. Since then, she has played dozens of shows, created animations for many artists around the world, and was able to master 3D mapping, large projections on buildings. Svetlana shares her secrets with UATV. How it is done. The first thing that a VJ needs is a powerful PC with various 3D and video editors. It's necessary to make a basic set of footage or small clips for building future concert programs. Everything can become its basis, from simple geometric shapes to pieces of live video. Svetlana animates them, adding various effects until she achieves the results she enjoys and satisfies her taste. You're making something up and suddenly you realize that you would leave it. Then you put it in another program, change something in it, and it becomes even better. And then it's all ready for the show. It sounds simple, but in fact it takes many hours, and there are always errors, trials and tribulations. Most often, music for future concerts inspires her. I do not try to make videos or VJing to the music that I dislike. I have to fully enjoy my work. It provides me with images and guides me in the direction that I want to go. If you like music, then your tastes as an artist and those of your audience or customer should almost coincide. And if a customer is your old friend, then it'll be a real success. Svetlana met Anton Degtярov while working on a joint project, and since he jointly with guitarist Volodymyr Babushkin have founded their band Ptah Jung, she became their VJ and in fact a co-author. The duet plays adult electronic music, which incites a lot of associations in listeners. Svetlana's task is to translate the most interesting visual images into graphics while listening to the music. We send our ready-made tracks, demos to Sveta, and she knows what to do with them. We have no words, no vocals. We only have music, so why not add video to it? It doesn't replace the imagination. This is what gives all of us in the team the ability to unite our thoughts and simultaneously find chemistry in our points of view. Usually, musicians do not even pay attention to the video that accompanies their concert. They appear with their backs to the screen on the stage. Svetlana shows Anton and Volodymyr her developments at rehearsals. It was a fantasy about the creation of our universe. It was not only about the Earth or humankind, but about global space. Indeed, this entire album is all about outer space, human life and death. Any images can enter Svetlana's mind, but concerts based on a concept album requires a certain measure of visual integrity. Everything should be combined so that it does not turn out looking like some kind of potpourri. It's like one movie with a long-running time that simply contains excerpts of some song pieces. If in an ordinary movie, music is usually a supporting instrument used by the director, in a live concert it is exactly the opposite. Visual images should complement compositions and in no way distract the attention of the viewing audience. Svetlana performs with a MIDI controller. This device is used by DJs and musicians working with electronic instruments. If I work with a band, I already have my own piece, but each time everything goes a bit different. You physically cannot repeat the same because you do not remember where you created something and what exactly you created. And today you can hear the music like that. Some other times you are in a totally different mood and the musicians play differently. Concert stages in different countries are not the only platforms for Svetlana Reinish. In 2017, Kyiv hosted the first light festival where this young Ukrainian maestro decided to try her hand at this well-known genre and category of artistic music. There were two competitions, VJ mapping and 3D mapping. I planned to participate only in VJ mapping, which I had a very good grasp of. As for 3D mapping, I was a bit afraid. The fact is that I did not understand how it all works, but then I thought, I have long wanted to do this, so why not give it a try? Organizers of such festivals send the exact 3D models of buildings to the contestants in advance, and everyone puts their visual image over it. Windows, columns, other architectural elements can be shown in a million different ways. The only difference between 3D and VJ mapping is that the author does not control the effects in real time. Everything is pre-recorded. Svetlana tried and won second place in both categories. The following year, she was invited to participate in a non-competitive program of the same festival. The task was unusual, to animate the famous Kyiv mural Renaissance. The original image of the Ukrainian woman, or even Ukraine itself, was created by artists Alexei Kislov and Julian Malan. I started with cutting it into layers to separate the background from a girl. I needed some separate elements, braids, a shirt and houses below. All this was divided into separate elements with which I could then work separately. I wanted to add some national elements, but not especially to harmonize them with the existing image. I understand how to begin and end this process, and what will end up in the middle, but it is always possible to improvise and make up some elements in the course of the entire creative process that you may not immediately understand or see. In the end, everything comes into one whole thing and turns out right. After a month of hard work, the mural Renaissance really came to life. After a success in her homeland, Svetlana is actively invited to participate at 3D mapping festivals around the world. She always tries to hold a fantastic show for the audience. I do not enjoy showing myself, rather my work and without a doubt on a very large space. While showing my 3D mapping work on some building, I feel myself like a very small creature among all other people, but that does not frighten me. On the contrary, I think that it's really cool. It is the moment that forces me to get down to work hard on a PC and show my creativity to others. Ukrainian media art is highly appreciated in the world and can offer people around the world many other talented visual art masters from Ukraine.